Stuck in a lo-fi loop again? Hit shuffle and refresh the everyday with Mentos Gum. Pop a piece and turn that sleepy soundscape into a dance floor. Freshen up your moves with spearmint. Find freedom with fresh mint. Get juicy with red fruit lime and tropical. Or choose a different way to refresh the everyday with your favorite. Mentos Gum. Yes to fresh.
How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
At Starbucks, we've more than doubled paid parental leave, now up to 18 weeks. Which means Starbucks baristas can spend more time with the best company they know, their families. At Starbucks, benefits like parental leave are just the start.
This episode is brought to you by Mott's Applesauce. So you're looking for a snack your kid will love and you can feel great about? Give them a Mott's no sugar added applesauce pouch. Made from real, delicious apples and a good source of vitamin C, too. Perfect for tossing in a lunchbox or grabbing for on the go. Mott's. Real apples make real good applesauce. Learn more about Mott's no sugar added applesauce at Motts.com.
Welcome into the Tour Coach, everybody. I'm your host, Tony Ruggiero. Thanks for sitting in. If you're passionate about the game of golf, you love the game of golf, whether you're a coach, a teacher, or a player, recreational golfer, touring professional, aspiring to get better, I think some of the information you're about to hear can help you. These are the conversations with the people that I meet, the coaches that I teach with that I find interesting, the caddies, the fitness experts, mental coaches, or players or students that I meet in my journey to help all of you play better golf. And these are the conversations we have. They're authentic, they're real, you'll laugh, some will make you think. All of it is designed to help you play better golf. I hope you enjoy these conversations, and if you like these, look, you can always go find more of our content, which is available for you on YouTube, on DewsweeperTV. That's at DewsweeperTV on YouTube. All of these, you can watch the video, but you can also watch some of our productions where you can watch us go one-on-one behind the scenes with a real player as we all work together to help people play their best. So check out DewsweeperTV. Please keep listening to the Tour Coach here. I hope you like the conversations. I'm enjoying putting the stuff out, and I enjoy this journey helping all of you play better golf. And once again, though, none of this would be remotely possible without our long-time sponsors, especially Cleveland Shrixon Golf, Mitch McConnell and McConnell Automotive, Buick GMC, Bushnell, Stokely's Midtown Garden Center, Taylor Martino and Rowan in Mobile, all of the great sponsors, and especially our new one, because there's going to be some fun nights ahead, Epic Western Tequila Drink, coming at you live from Texas. So appreciate our sponsors, appreciate all the people that sit and chat with me, and we're going to look forward to bringing you more tour coaches and more content as we help all of us play better golf there on Dewsweeper TV. All right, so sitting here on the Tour Coach with me is my good friend and one of the most valuable parts of the team that I'm part of, Dr. Greg Cartin from up in Boston. I'm sitting down in the house in Mobile, anxiously awaiting next week when I end up in the Keys. And Doc, off the radio, I got to give you some more dates. We got to go down there and film some more pro in Key West. That was an epic trip we had.
That was awesome. Would come down there anytime you want. That's a lot of fun.
Oh, I know.
And a lot of good work.
You're not hard to get to go to good places.
No, that's I'll go there. I'll go to the Key West anytime.
So let's talk a little bit. This has been a rampant theme. I saw Rick Fair, who's become a good friend, was a tour player. I saw him post something on Twitter the other day about, people chasing quick fixes, people hopping from thing to thing very quick, impatience, talking about like the flavor of the week, the thing that pops up, or the teacher that pops up that has one guy play good. Talk a little bit. You and I have worked together for a long time now, almost 10, 12 years, I think. And, one thing that's always been big with me is consistency in your program and in how you handle things, whether it's ups or downs. Talk a little bit about the importance and consistency and things that you think help people develop as a player, whether we're talking juniors or heck, the 15 handicapper that's trying to become a 5, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, and I think we've seen that a lot. And the overwhelming common theme amongst, we'll start with juniors, who develop well, are the ones that are consistent in the work that they do. Every golfer, in my opinion, wants to be as good as they can be right now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a big lack of patience, especially when you got the college stuff looming. So it's really seductive to think that, you read an article or you watch a lesson on YouTube or on Instagram and say, oh, what I'm doing doesn't work. I want to do that. Right. And all of a sudden they start bouncing all over the place and they don't develop any consistency in terms of what they're trying to learn. And they're constantly second guessing themselves. There's a lot of indecision that's created. They don't have the patience to stick with something. And it causes a lot of frustration and issues for sure, in terms of their development. And I think what we've seen is, you've been so successful at retaining a lot of these young kids. And there's certainly going to be plenty of times in golf, in any sport really, where there are the down times too, right? It's a hard sport, but overwhelmingly the ones that stick to what they're doing, and ride out those down times are the ones that come out on top.
What are the keys to riding out the down times for you? Or how do you help? How do you help? Because juniors, I mean, we focused a bunch on juniors, but it's every golfer, I took on a new young pro this past week, crazy talented, but he had some funky stuff going on, right? And I had to say, like, hey, this is a process. If you want to get to here, you're going to have to take some time.
Yeah.
But how do you coach people? How do you help people get through the down times? Because there's going to be, no matter, I mean, heck, Tiger Woods had downtime. Scotty Scheffler's going to have downtime.
Well, right. So I think it starts there with the understanding of how difficult, golf is. And the other issue is, I think we take our lowest score ever and hold that to be our benchmark, right? So you could shoot 65 and go out one day and shoot 72 and consider that a downtime, right? So maybe shifting that perspective a little bit to understand that, hey, I took up this game not to be good all the time, not to win all the time, but it's the old cliche. It's a journey, and the journey includes a lot of times where things don't go the way you want them to. But as we've seen, I think so much good comes out on the other end if you stick with what you're doing and figure it out, right? And I think, I don't know if this is a good example, but it's happening in college sports across the board now, where things aren't going well and kids are jumping ship and transferring, right? So it's not teaching them any sort of resilience or ability to overcome adversity. And golf is full of that. And you're right. You can point to the best players in the world, even, who have gone through plenty of times where they've struggled, whatever that means to them. But I think, really being careful to not hold yourself accountable to when you were at your best, right? It's nice to have goals and to want to go out. Everyone wants to go out and play well all the time. But if you're constantly searching for the fix that doesn't exist or isn't necessary, you're going to be lost, and see it all the time.
I think sometimes with golfers, and this is across the board, you just basically said it. They assume if they don't play good for a stretch that something is wrong.
Right.
Right. Or that something needs to be fixed.
Right.
And that doesn't always, mean that. And I tell juniors, I tell golfers all the time that come see me down there at Old Palm, and you're like, hey, I can't tell you the number of times that I've gone to a tour event or had a panic call, and it was simply the person's posture was out of whack, or the ball was in the wrong spot, or they were aimed, right? So, you talked about consistency. To me, the biggest thing from a golf teacher's point of view, when I'm relaying this to players, is like, you've got to be consistent in monitoring the things you can control.
Sure.
Right. And if you do a good job of that, to me, that normally lessens how long the downtimes take.
Yeah.
Frequency. If you're consistent with the things you can control.
Yeah. Or you look at these downtimes as an opportunity, right? To really dig in and learn something about yourself instead of, this is hard, I need to go do something else. And I think one of my favorite quotes that sums that up is, most of our problems come from trying to fix problems, right? So
awesome.
We create a lot of issues that don't need to be, don't need to happen because we're trying to fix something that's not broken.
Right.
Right. And it is hard. It is hard. And this, I think when we talk about patience, people use that term a lot. It's knowing that you're doing the right things, even when you're not seeing the results right now. Right. That's, to me, is what patience is. And it's so important, because the second we start to, play around with stuff, and there's so much information, we've talked about this so many times, there's so much information at our fingertips, that it's really hard to stay away from that.
Make your next vacation unforgettable on Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Star of the Seas. It's everything you've loved about every family vacation you've ever been on, with mind-blowing thrills at the largest water park at sea, 7 onboard pools for every level of chill, more than 40 ways to dine and drink, and even more to enjoy at our award-winning private island, Perfect Day at Coco Cay. This is the new Star of the Seas. Click or tap the banner to find out more.
Put us in a box. Go ahead. That just gives us something to break out of. Because the next generation 2025 GMC Terrain Elevation is raising the standard of what comes standard. As far as expectations go, why meet them when you can shatter them? What we choose to challenge, we challenge completely. We are professional grade. Visit gmc.com to learn more.
Hey, it's Sydney Sweeney. I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney, Hasbro jeans.
You see what I did there, right?
Shaq here, spinning fast-acting pain relief with Icy Hot. Ice works fast, heat makes it last. Icy Hot, you're so back.
Yeah, I think it's got to be harder than ever, right?
Sure.
Because I think, I look back to when I started teaching and coaching, and you just had the internet. You had, I think, Facebook or whatever, maybe
Golf Digest,
a little bit, but you had Golf Digest, golf.com,
yeah,
right, on the internet, and there was starting to be content out there, but this is 22, 3 years ago, wasn't the same as it is now, and,
right,
and the students were more willing to believe what you said, right? And I think now as coaches, one of the challenges is you've also got to be well versed in everything that's going on out there, because you're going to get questions about, how does this relate to what I'm doing? Like, well, do you think this will work? Because I feel like I'm too under the plane or over or whatever. So I just think that this culture now with all the content that's out there, and heck, I'm guilty of it. Shit, we're filming one right now.
Oh no, of course, and that's, yeah. I mean, it serves its purpose for sure, but I think when you're grasping for something, when you're struggling for a quick fix or something that's going to steer you in the right direction, that's when things can go sideways.
What are some of the keys, like from all the great players you've been around a zillion of them? Are there traits or commonalities you see in how they practice and in how they handle, like, staying committed to what they're working on? And the one thing you talked about, maybe like believing that you're on the right track, even maybe when the results don't do it. Do you see any commonalities in how they are, how they approach it, or what they say and think?
I think, one, I mean, this may be for the higher level players, but they have strong, trusting relationships with the people around them, right? That's one. And two is they really enjoy practicing, right? If we're practicing because we feel like we have to, you're going to be burnt out pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
If you can find ways to engage in a practice session because you want to practice, not to get anything out of it, that's when we get better.
Right.
We really enjoy the practicing for the sake of practicing, right? And that may mean shifting the way you practice. We talk about this all the time at school. So
right,
some of us still don't practice the way we play, right? And it becomes very repetitive and boring. It's necessary at some level, but the bulk of our practice, you should be enjoying it.
Yeah.
Right. And I always ask my clients, and we talk about this all the time, and it's becoming more and more true that the better players are the ones that enjoy what they're doing, not the ones that wait to enjoy it until they achieve something.
Like you look at, I'm a guy that we don't have anything to do with, like Bryson DeChambeau.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he really enjoys working
Absolutely.
in the pursuit and chase of what he's trying to do.
Right.
He's one that, to me, like when you look at somebody that works really hard, has made changes, and certainly during some of those changes, there were down times.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he genuinely really likes the practice and the pursuit.
Yeah. And I think it's more that it's because he enjoys the opportunity to compete and get back, not to win, right? And certainly everyone likes to win and wants to win, but his motivation is to compete and to push himself to get better. I had a talk yesterday with a client of mine I've worked with for a few years, who's on tour, who just in the last couple of weeks has come to this epiphany, where 2 weeks ago he was really struggling in a tournament, and something shifted where he got excited about the opportunity to sort of see what he could do, right? Instead of showing up each week trying to win. Right? So he faced a difficult situation in a tournament and challenged himself to sort of overcome it and see what he could do with it. Had a nice, decent finish, but said, no longer do I show up to tournaments to win. And that's very counterintuitive for competitive athletes.
Well, that's way different than what you hear lots of guys say.
Yeah. And I think it just gives us this new sense of purpose out there.
Right.
And if we're so focused on that result, which, a lot of things have to happen for someone to win. It's very rare someone just runs away with a tournament, but that we get excited about the opportunity to go compete, right? And to see where we are. And that gives us a lot of fulfillment, regardless of the result. And ironically, when it doesn't matter as much, we tend to play better.
So that's the last question. Why is that? Why is it that we play better when it doesn't matter? I remember one time as a kid, 2 tournaments in a row, I was playing great. I mean, I'm a little kid, and I'd go shoot 40 on the front, and the tournament was basically over. I felt like, right?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden,
because I shot, and then I'd go shoot 2 under on the back.
Yeah,
right. And then it's like did that 2-3 times, and I could never figure out. That was something that we've gotten to know each other. I picked your brain on, like, why did that happen all the time?
Yeah, because you stopped caring, right? Because you knew it was over.
Mm-hmm.
It's the greatest example, and it happens all the time, right? Why don't we bring that when we set out, right? Meaning, my objective is not to win this thing. It's to make some good golf swings and see what happens. And that's really what you're talking about when you make the turn after blowing up on the front. You're just going out there to make some swings, and the score is irrelevant at the time.
Right.
Right. And I think oftentimes we're afraid, not so much of shooting a big number, but how we're going to feel, or what are people going to say, right? If you knew that if you shot 80 or you shot 60, things would be relatively the same after. It's a lot easier to proceed.
I've known tour players that because when things get bad, like that, worried about if I shoot 78, what everybody's going to say on social media.
Yeah.
Like we've seen that. And that becomes and that's another topic. Like I think for guys playing at that level, the whole social media puts extra pressure on them. The ability for every Tom, Dick, or Harry to
yeah, and certainly those pressures are real, and that's a thing. But I think helping golfers distill the objective down to my goal is to go make good swings, not to shoot good scores, not to even hit good shots.
Yeah,
that you can really start to diffuse some of that noise, right? Which are stories that we just tell ourselves. The objective remains the same. It's to go make good swings. You can make 6 bogeys in a row. You can make 6 birdies in a row. When you step on the next tee box, your objective is still the same.
Yeah.
Everything else you tell yourself is just a story. So sort of jumping all over the place here, but again, I think it gets back to the point.
Great stuff.
Enjoyment and fulfillment is so much more important than the desire to win and be perfect.
And then the result, though, is you generally play better and win more if you get there.
Often that's the case. And by the way, when you don't play well, it doesn't matter as much. So you're not as afraid showing up the next day. You're excited.
Right. Exactly.
Right?
Doc, awesome stuff, awesome insight. We're going to keep doing this more and more, putting this stuff out there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Everybody that's watching, listening, this will be available for you on our YouTube channel at DewsweeperTV on YouTube. Make sure you check it out. We've got our own little mental coach and performing section with Dr. Greg Cartin up. So there's going to be some great clips up there. So check them out on DewsweeperTV. Doc, thanks again. As always, look forward to catching up soon. Can't wait to have you back down to Old Palm and help some folks as well as go down to the Keys.
Yeah, same, Tony. Thanks for having me. Enjoyed it.